We've covered what to use as a brooder, now let's talk about what to put in it. Some people call it bedding, while others use the term litter. I use them interchangeably. First, the floor in your brooder should never be smooth. Smooth surfaces prevent your chicks from getting traction when they walk and can result in something called spraddle leg. Not only should the surface be something the chicks' feet can grip, it should be somewhat soft to cushion them when they fall. As to what bedding material that should be, there are many options. Newspaper is handy and a great way to reuse a resource. However, it's not as absorbent as other bedding choices, and you will have bigger, poopier messes. Moreover, newspaper is too slippery, in my opinion, and doesn't provide the grip that chicks need. There is also sand. I use sand as the litter for my coop and run, but I don't recommend it for a brooder. My fear is that chicks will swallow it and have digestive issues or develop an impacted crop. Straw and hay are staples on any farm and have been used for bedding for hundreds of years. They can work for coops and also for brooders, but with a few drawbacks. First, they have less than optimal absorption. Second, if straw and hay remain wet, they can produce mold. My take? Straw and hay might be okay, but not my first choice. Many people use paper towel, especially for the first week or so. Chicks can walk on it safely, and you don't have to worry about them ingesting or eating it. But it also makes for a messier brooder that you need to clean more frequently. I find this pretty inconvenient. Some people are concerned that their chicks will eat the litter, thinking it is food, so you may want to temporarily cover the bedding with paper towel. Just remember you'll have to change it frequently. Once your chicks learn to eat from the feeder, you can remove it. By the way, I have not used a paper towel covering and have never had any problems. There is also hemp bedding, which is becoming very popular, but is also pricey. I discussed that more in the coop and run part of this training. Next are the various wood shavings. Some people like cedar because it has a nice aroma. If you have cedar closets in your house, you know how nice they smell. However, I would be concerned that the oils in cedar can irritate a chick's lungs, which then increases the chance they will develop respiratory problems as adults. This is less of a concern with adult birds who have mature lungs and tend to sleep several feet away from their bedding. But chicks sleep with their beaks right in it. I say, when in doubt, play it safe. Don't use cedar. A second type of wood shaving is aspen. Aspen shavings are popular with people who keep snakes, rats, and chinchillas. Aspen has no oils or aromas, which make it a great alternative to cedar, but it tends to be more expensive than most other wood shavings. So, thumbs up to the aspen shavings, but be prepared to pay more. A third type of wood shaving, and the bedding I prefer, is pine. Some people will argue that pine has oils just as cedar does, and so it, too, is a danger. However, I have always used pine shavings in my brooders and have never had a problem. Because of the absorption qualities, ease in cleaning, and affordability, I think pine shavings are your best bet, and this happens to be what most other hen owners use. If you use pine, I recommend that you avoid chips. You want shavings. Shavings come in fine and flake. Don't use the fine shavings in your brooder as your chicks may try to eat them. Use the larger flakes, as there is much less risk of this. I try to keep a bedding depth of at least 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, and there is certainly no harm in making it even deeper. It's critical to your chicks' health that you keep the brooder clean, so be sure to scoop their poop 3 to 4 times a day and also remove any wet litter. Add more bedding as needed to maintain a good depth. Some people like to add diatomaceous earth, also called DE, because it helps dry up chicken droppings and makes them less messy. Drier droppings also means less odor and fewer flies. I do not add DE to my brooder litter, but it is perfectly safe to do so, provided you use food-grade DE. This is critical, so I'll repeat it. If you use DE, it must be food-grade. Also, it is a powder, so make sure your chicks and you don't inhale it as you apply it. I recommend you first remove your chicks from the brooder and consider wearing a mask when applying DE. Finally, you should periodically replace all of the litter. Some people do it every few days. I do it once a week. The older the chicks get, the more they poop, and the more necessary this becomes. Find a rhythm that works for you and keeps your brooder looking and smelling clean.